Hi, welcome to Introduction to Information Systems. This course is designed to teach you the fundamentals of information systems and information technology. In this first lecture, I'm going to present information systems and information technology, known as IS and IT, from a different perspective than you may have experienced them before. Hopefully you will see them as tools to enable you and help you be a better business student and eventually a better business manager in the future. Chapter 1, Foundations of Information Systems in Business, presents an overview of the 5 basic areas in information systems knowledge needed by business professionals, including the conceptual system components and major types of information systems. In addition, trends in information systems and an overview of managerial challenges associated with information systems are presented. Hopefully we'll do this in a way that is meaningful for you and helps you both as a student, but also as you transition into the business arena as a professional. So when you think of information systems and information technology, what comes to mind? Do you think about books, email, online music or movies, chat, internet, wireless texting? Or do you think of ERP, CRM, and SCM? Those 3 acronyms over on the right-hand side are their primary information systems used by Fortune 500 companies today to be successful. In fact, some of those 3 acronyms to the right provide Fortune 500 companies with a competitive advantage. We'll go into those in more detail later on in the course, but I wanted to make you aware of them now because you're going to have to get used to them. And in your future, in your business life, you will be using one or all 3 of them at some point in your career. So why is information systems required for business majors? Today, most businesses rely on information systems and technology. It's a fact. There is nothing you can do in business today that doesn't involve some type of systems or technology. Also, most businesses, by the sheer fact that they have an internet presence, makes them global in nature. So we have to understand how information systems and technology operates in global markets. Businesses need to be agile and flexible. They need to be able to meet customer demand on a more frequent basis than the old cycles that were done using manual technologies and systems. As a business professional and manager, information systems and technology can be a tool and a utility for you to enable you to do everything better and maybe even faster. So efficiency and effectiveness are clearly output of information systems and technology. And at the end of the day, it's all about data. And data is being acquired, gathered, and stored and then redistributed faster and faster. Hopefully you will see the video, Did You Know? And it talks about the amount of data that is being collected on an annual basis through the internet. It is astounding, and it is revolutionary and historic. So, we need to know, where is the data? How is it accessed? And who has access to it? And then also, how is it presented to those in a meaningful way that makes it useful? When we talk about information systems and we talk about information technology, we frequently combine them together, and in fact, later on in this course, we will use them interchangeably. But there is a huge difference between the 2 of them. Don't be confused. The difference between them is significant, but like I said, we do use them interchangeably. Information systems is a structured set of processes, people, and equipment for converting data into information. Information technology is an enabler of human activity to perform the above. So we typically think of the information technology as the tools, the devices. Information systems is primarily about the data and the information and business process flow. The primary focus for this course is on information systems. Secondarily, we will be discussing a lot about information technology as well. The technology side is sometimes the funner side, it seems, but it's not about the technology. Technology changes so rapidly, while information systems are longer lasting. That's because information systems focus on data, information, and business processes. Those are long lasting. They are slower to change, but they're extremely impacting on the business. Both information systems and technologies can provide a significant competitive advantage for organizations. They themselves may not be strategic in nature, but information systems and technology can lead to business processes and byproducts and products and services that are strategic. At the end of the day, both systems and technology changes will impact you and your career. You've already seen it within your lifetime. The cell phone has developed from the old flip phone to now smartphones. Very few people have flip phones. That is a technology that has evolved and changed everyone's life. Have you ever tried to live a day without your cell phone? It's almost unnerving, isn't it? Well, that's a technology that has impacted every day of our life. So what is an information system? We've talked about its information, its data, and its process. Let's take a closer look at that. All information systems are comprised of three basic components. The first component of an information system is input, which then leads to the second component, process. And the next element is output. So every information system is composed of these three basic elements or components: input, process, output. Every system doesn't have to be an information system, but almost every system in itself is comprised of these three elements or components. To give you an example, most of you have a job. You fill out a time card. You enter the number of hours that you have worked. That time card is then sent to the payroll department. The payroll department adds up the number of hours that you've worked. They multiply it by your pay rate, and they in their turn produce the output, which is your paycheck. Very simple. Time card in, process is payroll, output is paycheck. Well, that is a very basic information systems. Of course, there are other information systems that are quite more complex and sophisticated. The goal of this course is to familiarize you with those systems and the strategies that utilize information systems and technology so that it can assist you in your business. I know you're wondering, what about information technology? Every role within a business is touched by information systems and technology in one way or another. It's imperative that you understand it and be able to use it in the most effective methods and ways. Not only do I want you to be able to understand information systems and technologies, I want you to be able to know when and how to leverage them so that you can gain a competitive advantage in the job. Some detail elements of what I expect you to learn from this class. 1, I'd like you to know the difference between data and information. There's a difference. I'd like you to know the difference between memory and storage. There is nothing so exasperating as talking to someone who isn't using the correct terminology and, in fact, can lead to problems in being able to help customers with their needs. I'd like you to know the difference between a kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, and terabyte. Those are all measurements of both memory and storage. You know them probably because the memory and storage capacity of your cell phone. I'd also like you to know the difference between an ERP, a CRM, and an SCM. My desire is that you be able to interact with information technology department and the people within your organization in an intelligent and meaningful way. You will need them, and they need you. So partnering together with them and using the correct nomenclature, the correct words, and the correct meaning will be very helpful for you and give you a leg up on your peers. At the end of the day, or at the end of the class actually, I'd like you to be able to ask the right questions. Can information systems and technology provide a competitive advantage to the workplace where you are at? What can we automate? What needs to stay manual? When does technology hamper our ability to compete? And when does technology help us meet our vision, goals, and plans? Those are all elements within a business that you should keep in mind. And so let's identify how information systems and technology can play a role in that. Just a few suggestions. Your final grade is based on points, not an accumulation of grades. So, points are points. You start the class with 0 points and you earn your way to your final grade. If you have an issue or a problem, communicate. Send me an email immediately. Send me an email before you miss a deadline or a quiz or an exam. Afterwards, there's not much I can do to help you, but beforehand, I can. Just as a personal aside, life happens. We all know that. Life happens for us as well, as faculty. Just communicate with us, please. If you know you're not going to be able to meet a deadline before the quiz or assignment, email me before the deadline. There are no make-ups for missed quizzes or exams. There are some exceptions, but they have to be communicated ahead of time and in agreement with me. If you miss a deadline on an assignment, turn it in late. Partial points will be awarded. Typically, the late point deduction is 10% for each 24 hours that the assignment is late. So that's the introductory information on information systems. Now let's get into the textbook and what the textbook has to say about information systems. The first thing that we're going to learn about is the foundational concepts of information systems in business. While Chapter 1 is basically an overview, it has some long-standing and everlasting concepts that you'll need throughout the semester. It's a good preview of what's going to come ahead, and so it gives you a little bit of a taste of what you think this course is going to be like. As we stated before, information systems is essential in the field of study of business administration and management. Internet technologies play a vital role in all businesses to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of business processes, decision-making, and work group collaboration. You've probably already seen this within the other classes and course of study that you've had. Now we're going to focus on some of those information systems and technology pieces to help pull it all together for you. I've already asked this before, what is an information system? And we've talked about it. Information systems may be computerized or not computerized. Technically, smoke signals as a form of communication was an information system. Morse code, the dashes and dots, were an information system. It was a standard by which people could communicate. Card catalogs in a library. Have you ever been to the library and seen the old card catalogs with the Dewey Decimal System? Not so much probably anymore. But your book bag, day planner, notebooks, file folders, all of them are information systems because they organize information in a way that you can retrieve it. A cash register at your fast food restaurant is also an information system. And then a paper-based accounting ledger. Now most accounting ledgers are done electronically through accounting software and systems, but there are places in the world where paper-based accounting systems are still utilized, and they are a viable and very needed information system. This diagram and explanation gives us the foundational concepts that we're going to review, including the information technologies, business applications, the development process, and management challenges. All of these interleave into information systems for business leaders. At the end of the day, information systems are designed to do one thing. They're designed to help organizations be more effective and more efficient so that they can be more competitive. So we want to support the strategies for competitive advantage while we're helping the business make better decisions and then hopefully providing more efficient business processes and workflows so that operations can run more smoothly. It is important to know the evolution of information systems and technology because it hasn't been around that long. An accounting system has been around. The foundations, debits and credits, and the basic general ledger have been around for over 2,000 years. But information systems and technology has only been around for the last 50 years in present-day businesses. So in the 1960s, we started off with electronic data processing and management information systems. In the 70s, the focus was on how do we take those information systems, MIS and EDP, and how do we make it so that it is helping us to make better decisions. In the 1980s was the hallmark of the introduction of end-user computing. In the 70s and the 60s, we were primarily reliant on big computers that were in big rooms that were locked away, and users did not have much direct access to them. In the 80s, that changed with the personal computer, and then we started focusing on executive information systems and enterprise resource planning systems. Now that ERP has shown up 3 times within previous slides. That should be an indicator to you that this is a very important element. In the 1990s, the internet exploded. We'll talk about this later, but the internet has been, in its basic forms, been around since 1945. But it did not take off until the introduction of WWW, the World Wide Web. It changed everything. The internet also introduced concepts like intranets and extranets. We'll talk about that later, so don't worry about it now. And then, of course, global networks. We're all tied together. Electrons are blazing around the globe in milliseconds so that we have almost instantaneous communication and sharing capability around the globe now. And then into the 2000s, big data became ever present, and we started looking into business intelligence systems. These were applications that took the data and allowed us to make more sense of it, to do trending, forecasting, analytics, and to help us make better decisions than we were able to make before. Then we started developing web-based applications, so applications that could function on the internet more effectively than just running on big computers in the background or even your laptops and your desktops, which is called end-user computing. Now we have software that runs out on the internet to gather information, store information, and then distribute information. Then the global e-business and e-commerce. So one of the very first elements of this that we saw was Amazon, eBay, operations that were able to buy and sell goods online. And then information systems became really a strategic advantage for some global operations, that it became one of the most important roles within a corporation. This chart shows the trends in information system, and basically it's a review of what we discussed in the bullet points before, but shows the upward mobility of information systems and how they progressed over time. A lot of attention is going to be placed on e-business, because it has revolutionized business from a global perspective. Basically, e-business is utilizing internet-based technologies to allow business to conduct itself over processes that flow through the internet and are not constrained by brick, mortar, and location. We also saw, or through e-business, we also have an explosion of collaboration systems as well. So no longer do we have to have a room full of business people to effectively operate. We now can have our business partners anywhere in the world where we can collaborate together through the internet and through collaboration systems to be effective. And then e-commerce is the buying and selling, marketing and servicing of products and services over computer networks. That computer network, of course, is the internet primarily. But in some locations, we don't want to use the internet, and we use other types of computer networks. The reason why we wouldn't want to use the internet is for security. Now remember back a few slides before where we saw the basic information system as a components of input, process, and output. This chart shows something very similar from an e-business perspective, how everything is linked together. And of course, there are different types of information systems. There's operational support systems that help us run the daily business of the operations. Those are transaction processing systems. An accounting system is a transaction action processing system. Process control systems are those that control the flow of process. Something like the gas company and the electric company utilize to provide service to us in the form of natural gas or electricity. Those are process control systems. And then, of course, the enterprise collaboration systems, also called office suites or office productivity suites. Next, we have management support systems. Those are comprised of management information systems that produce reports to help managers make better decisions. Then we have decision support systems that actually take a look at the information and the data, analyzes it, and produces suggestions and recommendations to help us make better decisions. And then there's executive information systems that consolidate and aggregate data from a vast array of data resources to help executives make better decisions. All of these are based upon better decision making so that an organization can make the best decisions available to them at the time. There's other types of information systems, and we will talk about them in later chapters within the book. Expert systems, knowledge management systems, strategic information systems, functional business systems, and cross-functional business systems. Each one of them have a specific use within every business. One of the big growth areas is in knowledge management systems. In the video, Did You Know? There is a segment that identifies that you as students are more likely to have 10 to 14 different jobs before the age of 38. That is astounding. There's two impacts to that statement. One is you as an employee are going to have to go into a business and learn it and be very proficient at it very quickly. From a business perspective, the business has to be able to train you and orient you to the product or service that you're going to be working with very quickly. Knowledge management systems allow that to occur for both the employee and for the business. We'll talk about that in greater detail when we get there. We've categorized and classified these information systems into the groups as you see them today. And in fact, when you take a look at this chart, this almost looks like an organization chart. Well, that's not surprising, because many information systems and information technology organizations are organized exactly like this. In fact, APU is the IMT department is pretty much organized along these same lines. There are a lot of challenges and opportunities for information systems and technology as well. There's business challenges, there's always development, there's business and IT goals that we're trying to meet, but there have been cases where information technology has not been very effective and it hasn't worked real well. So we do have some challenges to face in this world. This chart is used to depict how business and IT challenges use information technology that then help provide value to customers and to the business itself. As we talk about information systems, we also have to talk about how they are developed. You as a business partner with information technology are going to invariably have impact on information systems and their solutions to business problems. So it's very important that you understand how these solutions are developed. There's the planning phase or the investigation phase, the analysis phase, design, implementation, and then maintenance. I would add one to the bottom of that, which we call continuous improvement. And that is depicted in the circle down below that identifies that after you've gone through investigate, analyze, design, implement, and then you get into the maintenance mode, you lead back around into the investigation phase. So systems are an iterative process that are constantly evolving and hopefully improving over their life. There's also challenges and ethics of information technology. Sometimes, as with anything, information technology can be used for good, and it can also be used for bad. One of the fastest and most prevalent use of the internet today is in video. Almost 80% of the video content that flows through the internet today is pornography. One could argue that is a detrimental impact to society. We're not really sure how detrimental it is, but psychologists are telling us that it's worse than what we might have originally thought. That means that only 20% of the utilization of the internet itself is being used for something beneficial. Well, I'm not sure that those statistics hold everything true, but we do know that there are certain applications within information technology that have changed businesses radically. Customer relationship management, human resource management, and business intelligence systems have radically changed businesses to help them deal with some of the harmful impacts of information technology. You see some of those potential harms as infringements on privacy, inaccurate information, and collusion. Some of the risks: boycotts, work stoppages, government intervention. And the possible responses are code of ethics, incentives, and certification. So within the business information technology community, we've recognized all of these things, so we've developed some of those code of ethics, incentives, and certification processes, or certifications themselves are almost more valuable than even degree programs from four-year universities. This is an opportunity for give me a plug for information systems and information technology. About 10 years ago, before President Bush left office in the White House, a young man by the name of Bill Gates, who is the founder and owner at that time of Microsoft, went to President Bush and told him, we have a national security issue. That national security issue is that our colleges and universities are not producing enough information systems and information technology professionals. We've noted that here at APU. In the year 2000, we had, I think, 3 or 4 majors or minors within business, the School of Business and Management. Now we have none. In the year 2000, our computer science program was very large. Now our computer science program, I believe, has about 20 students. We've seen it shrink over the years. We're not really quite sure why. There are some statistics that show us that students don't want to do the rigorous work in math and physics to work in this area. As a result of this, however, and this is across the United States that this has occurred, so as a result, we are now importing much of our information system and technology talent from overseas, primarily India and China. That has led to other issues within the information systems and technology area. So, if you have any interest in information systems or technology, please contact me and I can help you on a path towards one of the most lucrative and successful careers that you could possibly follow. We've already stated this in several different manners, but I wanted to bring this highlight to this to you again. The information system as a function within business is extremely important. It has become so important, in fact, and so strategic that the Chief Information Officer, who usually is the Vice President over Information Systems and Technology, sits in the President's Cabinet, and reports directly to the President and CEO of many organizations. That's how important it's become. So here's your assignment for the week. I'd like you to read this course syllabus. Everything that we do within this course is found in that course syllabus. I'd like you then to electronically sign and submit the acknowledgement of receipt of the syllabus. This is a form that's in the resources section of Sakai, so you can find it. It's a Microsoft Word document. All you have to do is download it, fill it out, reattach it, and send it back up to Sakai. And then the next thing I'd like you to do is to read Chapter 1 of the textbook. Okay, thank you, and hope you have good reading.